Just throw a little cilantro on here.
Ellie, come here. Okay, Ellie, hash brown for you. Is that good? Sit. Sit on your butt. Oh, a little hash brown for the little puppy. All right, what's up, y'all? It's been a little while, but we're back again. Erowid Diaries, episode whatever. Today we're reading My Night with the Morphine Orphan. Heroin, parentheses, China White. By Observer.
Morphine Orphan.
My Night with the Morphine Orphan, January 10th, 2009. His dose was 1 line. He sniffed it. And it was H, but it was powder H, China White. Body weight, 135 pounds. Elian got no more hash browns for you. All right.
Boy.
This is by Observer, January 10th, 2009. Ready? Here we go.
Let's do it.
For such a nasty, cheap street drug, heroin has held a glamour about itself, or maybe in its own mind. My favorite singer, Janis Joplin, died on this stuff. Maybe because I idolized her so. That's why I developed the rock star mentality concerning illicit substances.
The rock star mentality.
Heroin's sexy. It used to be sexy. It's not sexy anymore. Whatever that is, it's not sexy anymore.
At one point in time, it was sexy.
Fent isn't sexy. Heroin's still kind of sexy.
Yeah, I like the Janis Joplin name drop too.
Of course, I always connected heroin with needles, so if anyone asked me to try, I quite prudish in my decision to say no. Very condescending, having no respect for anyone playing with this AIDS drug. I was the DARE poster child when it came to this. That would all change one night, though. Okay. For a drug I connected to viral and staph infections. Later, I would soon be begging to molest my senses. Never in a month of decades. And the grammar is very bad. Erowid, very bad.
A little over the place, all over the place.
Never in a month of decades would I have ever thought I'd exchange the set of values just to know what Joplin experienced in the last few hours of her life.
The obsession with Janis Joplin. Let's go.
At the time, I was a dabbler. I had only smoked weed and snorted cocaine. I was green broke at the best, but heroin my goodness. I was green broke at best, but heroin isn't a class all by itself.
True.
I heard one junkie say, "You have to need heroin." And he's probably right. In my experience, boys love the boy. And this morphine bastard has a greater appeal to the opposite sex. Being a girl, also this is a chick.
This is a girl POV?
Yeah, this is a chick.
This is a female's POV?
Yep. That makes sense for the Janis Joplin.
Let's go. Yeah, I was just going to say, what's up with the Janis Joplin?
Being a girl, I naturally loved coke and stimulants. But the picture heroin users portrayed at the house I was at the first night I tried heroin made me abandon my preconceived notions about this drug. Unlike cokeheads, there was no impatient twitching, apparent paranoia and suspicion. I always felt uncomfortable doing cocaine with people I didn't know. But at the heroin house, it looked like everyone had the greatest beer of their life. That's
beer?
real. That's what he said. Like basically, like they're having just the greatest time. I'm assuming that's what he means. She means.
Like we're all doing coke and we're all drinking beer. We're all drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Well, no, he's saying like coke is horrible to do with people you don't know.
Yeah.
Heroin is like everyone's having the best time and they don't even know who each other are.
With coke, you're all schizo and you're like, who do I trust?
So much so, I didn't think they were on anything except some really dank weed. By all accounts, that's what I thought it was. I inquired quite excitedly, "Can I smoke some of that?" One junkie, a girl, and her crooked dope-dealing boyfriend looked at each other lazily in that weepy-eyed junkie nod and let out a small mutual laugh. I was quite embarrassed, feeling condescended by the two experienced users. I was not in the know. I was even offended. God, I didn't need their... Good. I didn't... Dude, there's so many grammar issues in this. Good. I didn't need their weed. Fine. I saw my new boyfriend disappear with $50 into the bathroom. He said we were going in on a gram of powder, except I'd soon find out he was cashing it all in on a few stamp bags of heroin.
Let's go.
We're not together today, if you're curious. Being ignorant, not understanding the junky bathroom connection.
Whoa. So we're not together today, in case you're wondering.
Yeah.
Like, so she was
she's
fucking
single.
the neighbor. Well, no, she's single. But
No, she said her boyfriend. Look at
boyfriend and the neighbor.
I saw my new boyfriend disappear. He said
Oh,
we
I
were
thought
going-
I thought you said neighbor. My bad. Okay.
I did say neighbor over here. Stay with me. Stay with me.
Yep.
They're not together, in case you're curious, so she's on the market. Being ignorant, not understanding the junky bathroom connection. I was baffled when I saw the dealer escort him in and the doors close.
The junky bathroom connection.
I didn't move as suddenly. My goodness. I didn't move as suddenly. I was getting a little smart about the whole thing. My concern was apparently showing as I stared at the black door, hearing feet shuffling around and almost mute conversation. It looked like lazy gay sex to me.
What?
It looked like lazy. It might have been lazy gay sex.
Run that back 10 seconds.
Okay, I was getting smart about the whole thing. My concern was apparently showing as I stared at the black door, hearing feet shuffling around and almost mute conversation. It almost looked like gay sex to me, or lazy gay sex to me. So, for all she knows,
a little bit of an obscure reference.
well, she was just seeing the feet move around. She was hearing people talk. She was like, what are they doing in there? She doesn't know they're in there getting down with the dope. But you know what?
Like, I see feet.
They might have been having lazy gay sex.
I hear a lot of feet shuffling around. It sounds like people are in there edging.
No, the dealer's girlfriend didn't see anything out of the ordinary. I was frozen, and I started to remember those Lifetime original movies about drug users and their clans. Dear God.
Clans?
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
There are some drug clans, I guess.
Dear God, I didn't want to walk in and have my fears validated by the reality taking place. I was in a junkie house.
A junkie house.
Another junkie I had met a week prior, around the time I had met my new love, cued me in. He's not getting powder, He's robbing you. The girl junkie and the boy junkie did that same mutual laugh, so they looked at each other and laughed again. Glad they found it funny. I didn't. I could have cared less whose house I was in at that point. Let them shoot me. I was pissed. From the other side of the door, I was screaming, "You fucking junkie, I'll kill you." The two junkies flopping on the couch could care less, finding it amusing.
Flopping on the couch.
Yeah. The crooked dealer came out. "It's okay, girl. You'll get yours." Here comes the dare poster child, ready and poised as I was. "Oh, no, I don't mess with...
The dare poster child?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she said she's the dare poster child.
Okay.
"Oh, no, I don't mess with needles. Screw that shit." Giving me little attention, he brought out a bag of China White, which is, I guess, snortable heroin. "You can snort this shit, He said, "Oh, suddenly
Does it say that?
Yeah.
You can snort the shit,
You can snort this shit, comma,
Okay.
He said, "Oh, suddenly my temper was hampered by the prospect of experimenting with what had killed my favorite singer, Janis Joplin. My goodness.
Love Janis.
I had always wanted to know what this rock star murder weapon was like, and I had a desire to feel as good as them.
Rockstar murder weapon.
Now, I should have took my friend's advice. Never let a dopehead cut your dope. But in the excitement of dousing my senses with this guarded mystical drug, I wasn't thinking about anything else except my handy-dandy Coke straw." Nice.
We've all been there.
I used to carry a glass, you go buy it at the store, glass straw. It would always be caked with a bunch of different powders. And then at the end of the week, I could scrape it and have a pretty fat line of just obscure pills and
residue.
I switched on to a new mood, like a young kid with a few dollars to spare at a toy store. "Yeah, I want to try. Cut me some of that stuff." I was smart enough to let him know that I have never done this stuff, and my drug use to date was sporadic. I didn't have enough tolerance to hold 2 beers, let alone heroin. My goodness. And either this guy was so doped up he didn't know how big the line was, or he was just a smartass. Later, I learned the latter was true. He liked cutting huge lines for new users in the spirit of fun. It's a wonder nobody died on his account.
The spirit of fun or just trying to get a new customer.
Yeah, trying to keep you coming back. In the back of my mind, I thought the line was pretty big, but what the hell did I know about heroin? It looked like dirty snow to me. It had a brownish color, and the crystals, which didn't look much like crystals, seemed bigger. Not like the fish scale fine powdered Coke I was typically getting. It looked like a line of sand from the beach. I shuffled around for my Coke straw while he rolled up a $50 bill my boyfriend had given him moments before. Cool. I was itching to try. Pardon my pun. You know what I mean if you've ever tried this stuff. Itching to try. Nice.
Nice. This chick has totally got blonde hair.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Whoop. That itch. There's like, I mean, if you don't do it, you'll never understand what the fuck that means. It just sounds retarded. But like, dude, the itch from a nice opiate, like a nice unadulterated opiate buzz. There's few things that can beat that when it comes to physical pleasure. I've never tried this stuff. I snorted the line. The effects were slow. I sat down on the couch, impatient. When it's going to hit, I kept asking, like cocaine. I got the drip in the back of my throat. What seemed like 15 minutes afterwards. It wasn't like cocaine drip where it had a metallic taste, kind of bloody almost. It was weird. Like a dude
bloody.
shot a load off in my mouth. It was
Whoa!
It was warm, though I can't really describe it in my words, and my memories are a bit fuzzy. I didn't like it, though. That I do remember. I kept swallowing back like my tongue was trying to wash away the drip, so her heroin felt like a dude shooting a load in the back of her throat.
Let me see. Talk about a perfect switch off.
I hate that description.
Talk about a good switch off point.
Oh my goodness.
Dude busted in my mouth and it tasted just like metal. It was like when I had braces.
Well, he didn't bust in your mouth. The dope felt like he busted in your mouth.
Oh yeah, I got Oh, the drip was so bad.
The drip felt like someone busted in her mouth.
The drip was so bad it reminded her of metal semen. The drip was so bad that it reminded her of what it would be like to have a robot come in your
suck off
mouth.
a bloody robot.
Then that heavy feeling washed over me, and that's how I described it. It was heavy, but it was pleasant. I felt weighed down like time hits a standstill. Everything that mattered, my anger, my fear, and my impatience, kind of just disappeared. There was an overwhelming sense of peace and tranquility. I felt the tune in the whole room and on the same playing field as every junkie there. It felt like they were all of my best friends, and if I had known them all my life, I was surprised to note that the high lasted hours. Though it doesn't seem all that long, when I start to sober up, it probably had more to do with my zero tolerance and that the gargantuan line that ass of a dealer cut. Yeah. So though it doesn't seem all that long, when I start to sober up, it probably had more to do with that zero tolerance and that gargantuan line that the ass of a dealer cut up for me. Though I have no regrets. For a while, I was nodding off and insulting my boyfriend. I'm done with you, I said in a pleasant proclamation of freedom.
She was happy about it.
I'm done with you. I don't need you.
Yeah.
That's nice, he replied. Both of us on the nod to an outsider that might have thought this was an exchanging vows for all they knew. Even if I was angry, everything seemed okay. This is a cure-all for people... This is a cure-all for people full of piss and vinegar. I like this stuff, or so I thought. Then I started to get sick. Here we go.
Oh, she got too high.
It's definitely hit her now. At first I thought it was going to blow chunks, but a knot was balling up in my stomach and I felt like my intestines were swimming. I had a chill before I came and I was trying to unlock the door to my house, which had seemed to be about 4 locks. I called the dealer over. I'm going to vomit all over your place if you don't open this up. He complied. Out in the yard, I was making a mess. My stomach was emptying itself violently. The dealer made me go inside the bathroom to throw up, and I wasn't going to argue. There was no floaties in the toilet. Because for some reason, junkies' toilets never work. The accuracy behind that holds up.
There is like a correlation between trap houses, the proximity of heroin being used, and broken toilets. You could probably do a spreadsheet on that.
You could do a spreadsheet. So, the dealer made me go inside the bathroom to throw up, and I wasn't going to argue. There were floaties in the toilet because for some reason the junkies' toilets never worked. The plumbing always backed up the sink, cleaning up the chunky stuff with toilet paper and throwing that into the trash with all the vomit. I was starting to sober up. Still high though, and weighty, but not as high. I swear if I weighed 15 pounds less, I would have died. I was starting to sober up. I was still high and weighty, but not as high. I swear if I weighed 15 pounds, I would have died. Lucky for me, I was 145 or so at the time. It was going on for about 3 hours, and I was still too high to drive. My then boyfriend drove us home. I was nervous, and I thought he was as high as I was, which wasn't the case since he had the tolerance of an opioid fiend. I couldn't go home, so I crashed at his place, forgetting that I had even given him the shit. Wait, what? I stayed at my boyfriend's house, and so I crashed at his place, forgetting that I had given him the shaft hours before. What are shaft hours?
She gave him the shaft hours before.
Oh,
Because she told him to fuck off.
I gave him the shaft hours before. I couldn't sleep even though I felt tired and weak. He gave me a breath mint and I vomited that up. One tiny mint swimming in a puddle of bile. I thought it was funny for some reason. It's kind of funny.
Kind of funny.
Then the high started to leave me. I don't know if it was the power of suggestion, but he started itching himself crazily. And I started helping him out, itching his back and his beard. Itching his back and his beard. Then I started getting itchy all over myself, my legs, my belly, everything. And he'd itch me and I'd itch him. True love.
So that's better than sex.
It is. Sometimes the itch is better than sex.
Yeah.
And we threw the covers off the bed that were itchy as well. Then I was real hot, sweating like a pig. I knew heroin had withdrawals, but I never thought they were so apparent for the first time user. The palms of my hands were itchy, beads of sweat rolling down my body and my armpits. Then I got cold, and then I got hot. Throwing the covers on and off repeatedly the whole night. We would both wake up and go back to sleep, fighting over covers and itching ourselves. We were loud too, so the people above. So the morning after I drove home, I felt washed out. So I slept for 16 hours. He had the audacity to call me back, though I never returned the calls. For some reason, probably due to heroin has a lasting effect as much longer high. Wait, so... Probably due to the withdrawals, I had no desire to wait, what the fuck? Hold up. The morning after, I drove home, I felt washed out, so I slept for 16 hours. He had the audacity to call me back, though I never returned the calls. For some reason, probably due to the withdrawals, I had no desire to pursue heroin, especially not from him. On the plus side, heroin has a lasting effect and much longer high, mostly for those with a low tolerance. I would consider it fun, but like hard narcotics, it's a feel-good drug. There's a certain quality about it, though you can't get it from speed. It's that opiate quality, of course, in a like high, weighed against the withdrawals, which mine probably pale, and in comparison to a hardcore junkie's, I just didn't feel like trying it again. I played around with the idea of managing it. Due to the long-lasting effects, it's incredibly cheap. A $20 line...
Used to be.
Due to the long-lasting effects, it's incredibly cheap, and a $20 line kept me high for a couple of hours. $20 worth of coke couldn't keep me high for more than 15 minutes.
Yep.
Facts. That's where heroin seems worthwhile. Also facts. In the face of the disease and social taboos. I'm even a point to say that I like the heroin crowd better than the coke tweak geek. Wait, hold up.
Basically, the tweaker crowd sucks, and the dope crowd is dope.
Basically, she's not afraid to admit that the heroin crowd is better than the coke tweak geek coke crowd. Say that 5 times fast. The coke tweak geek crowd.
Coke tweak geek.
The coke tweak geek coke crowd. Dude. But I never stayed long enough in both groups to draw a comparison to make notes. I suppose one isn't better than the other. After trying heroin, I realized coke is pure robbery in the sense of longevity. Then again, it's like comparing apples to oranges.
Different.
2 totally different highs, and I like speed. Due to the addiction withdrawal, I can't complain, but my own experience, since I don't possibly understand the whole heroin paradigm.
Paradigm.
Okay,
Paradigm.
I'm about to give up
2030
in a minute.
paradigm shift.
But I can see where the level-headed individuals learn to balance the drug within their own life. Like a pop of aspirin for a nasty headache, I do have in some way respect for the drug that I can't shake because I like the peace. Calm and sedation of all my fears and anger would slip away. The coke only exasperated. It calmed a beast within me, and I can't say coke ever did that. Where did it once say morphine?
I thought she was calling it Morphine's cousin.
Oh, morphine's cousin.
Wait, hold up. My night with the Morphine Orphan. It's the Orphan of morphine, heroin, China White.
So basically the sum up of that was a girl used to doing cocaine every other night, if not every night.
Jessica loved cocaine. She loved it with all her sorority girls. And then she found the loving embrace that turns into a chokehold by a fucking 3,000-pound gorilla.
She thought that golden hug made out of rainbows was going to last forever, but she quickly figured it out after she started hurling chunks in her drug dealer's yard.
It is toilet that didn't work.
Love how at the end of it though, it was like, even though heroin, I can see the positivity.
She understands the appeal.
Yeah, I can see the pros in heroin, but I'm just going to stick to doing coke.
All right, Jessica.
The writing could have been a tad bit better, but
A lot of run-on sentences.
A lot of run-on sentences, but we can get where you're coming from. We also know that you guys aren't Hemingway. You're not. We
know what we're signing up for when we go to Erowid and look things up. That we're looking at junkies fresh off the moment, and yeah.
We know you're not Herman Melville. That's okay.
That's the appeal of heroin. That's the appeal of opiates in general. It's like it shuts everything up. Nothing else matters except for that moment that you're in that. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're not thinking about earlier in the day.
People do cocaine to move so fast they can't think.
People do cocaine to party.
People take shots of alcohol so they can suppress. Heroin just really grabs you and pulls you back down.
Yeah. It gives you a hug.
It doesn't let you go for a while.
And then that hug
does let you go.
It sucks.
You feel like your mother just like...
You just feel like you got abandoned by your parents at the gas station.
You feel like your mother just took your birthday cake and threw a ray on the floor and just said...
And pissed on it.
Smoke up, Johnny!
I give you 3 orphans out of China White.
I give you 5 out of 10 orphans. The last one's name was Morphin. Morpheus. Morphine.
Bye.